Hello, hello. Welcome back to Dr. T. Today we are talking about teenagers. Okay, it's not specifically about teenagers, but when you get positive feedback from your teen, hey, it's a big deal. It must be gold, in my opinion. So recently, my son told me, my teen told me that the information I shared with him that I cooked. And I was like, okay, I'm proud of myself. So guess what? I'm sharing the same information with you with the hopes that you'll find it helpful. Because you know what? If it cooks with a team, surely us adults can get it. So I had a conversation with my son about our divorce-ish. Those of you who have heard any of my previous post videos, you know I was married for 23 years-ish. The divorce was long, wrenching, hard, expensive. Lord. The major stroke that I experienced was in the middle of that legal divorce process. So if that tells you anything about how stressful that was, you get it. And so it's done, it's finalized. All right. But related to that, I told our son that it was okay for me and his dad to have different versions of reality about our life, the divorce, the reasons, all the things, and that both of those things could actually be true. Now, true-ish, but both could in some way be true. So, y'all know I love analogies. I used an analogy of a seesaw to help him understand this. Now, first I asked him, do you remember what a seesaw is? Because you know nowadays, some of these kids ain't never even seen a seesaw, much less being on one. He said he did. So I just described a little bit. Okay, there's two people, one on each side. Okay. But I use the analogy, once I established that, I use the analogy of a seesaw. I'm on one seat, your dad is on the other seat. We're looking at the same environment for the most part at the same time, but we're seeing it from different perspectives. When he rides up, I'm riding down. He's seeing one view of this scenario, scenery. Scenery. There we go, scenery, right? He's here, so he's looking this way while I'm looking at what's behind him and vice versa. So we are seeing different pictures here, even though we're looking at the same life, the same park, whatever, wherever we are. Now, I think this was the most important part of what I told him was that he doesn't have to choose between the two versions. Nor does he doesn't have to choose between his parents. He doesn't have to choose which one to believe. He doesn't have to choose which one to love. Now, I don't know what his dad is telling him. That's his business. What I'm telling him is you don't have to choose. You don't have to choose which one to believe. You don't have to choose which one to love. When you're with your dad, his perspective is true for him, and he loves you. When you're with me, your mom, my perspective is the truth, and I love you. I also told him, hey, when you're older, I'm happy to give you additional context about where my perspectives are coming from. Hopefully, his dad will do the same one day, maybe. I don't know. Again, that's not my responsibility. But based on our son's response, hearing that was helpful, which is why I'm sharing it with you. Now, similarly, for me, this was helpful for myself, right? We had this conversation as a mom and son, and then it required me to reflect on myself. I am learning. I was going to say I've learned, but I'm still in the process here. I'm learning how to be okay with the fact that me and my ex tell stories that sound different. And sometimes, I'll be honest, those stories are opposite. I'm like, did we live the same life here? So there are times where it still irritates me. And I guess it irritates him too, to be fair. But I am getting better with allowing him to hold on to his stories and his perspectives, even if I think they are wrong. Even if I think they're inaccurate, even if I think they're exaggerated, even if I think they're bold lies sometimes, whatever. I'm getting better with saying, hey, he's on that seesaw seat over there. I'm on this one. He can have his story. More importantly, I need to honor my own stories and my own perspectives. Now, for those of you who are therapists, mental health providers, peace, this is an example of cognitive dissonance, in my opinion, holding two pieces of information that are in conflict. What we know about cognitive dissonance is that it causes anxiety because how can both of those things be true? Like it doesn't even go together. So the question is, how do you reduce that anxiety while holding those conflicting pictures? Because nobody likes anxiety, in my opinion, right? So how do we get rid of that? How do we reduce that anxiety? So I encourage you to the next time you experience that type of anxiety, remember the seesaw. Yeah. All right. So one of those thoughts, people on one seat of the seesaw, the other thought, person, belief on the other seat of the seesaw. And guess what? For the seesaw to work, you actually need somebody on both, honestly. So it is what it is. In life, there will be conflicting ideas, beliefs, perspectives. Just tell yourself, hey, I'm on a seesaw right now. All right, that's all I got. Hey, let me know uh, if this analogy worked for you. And for those of you who are divorced, how do you help your kids make sense of the adult things that are happening for them but are impacting the kids, right? What types of things do you do to help your kids adapt? I'd love to hear. All right, I will see y'all soon. Take care until the next time.